guys, welcome in. I am about to start my walk. I just left Aria and I'm gonna head south on the strip tonight. I think we'll start heading south a little bit. I'll go check out the Overlook. I haven't been over the Overlook for a while, so let's go check that out. Get that over there. There we go. So it is, what time is it? It is about 8:42. Well, Reverend Rob. I don't know what I'm supposed to call you an ass clown for, but I'm just going to get it out of the way. So, what's going on? What's going on? Bud, what's happening? All right, let's flip this around so we can see what the crowds look like right now. All right, so we're going to head south. I'm probably going to head over to get a coffee. Ed, what's going on, buddy? You're talking football trash about the Eagles, I'm sure. Mr. Allen, what's going on? Let me try to steady this up a little bit. There we go. So we'll head to Hello Kitty. I think hopefully they're still open till 10. If not, we'll figure something else out. There is the Overlook across the street. We'll probably make a trip over there also. Book your next trip. When's your next trip going to be, Alan?
Or each tower.
October 8th for Metallica. Bruce, what's going on, buddy? How you been? Nice. Got a VP suite at Harrah's. Harrah's is one of my, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Harrah's. I think it's a little overrated. I've never really stayed there, but I just feel like for the value you get there, when you go downstairs and you're looking for a coffee in the morning, you know, you're not getting that kind of value. So people looking for the budgets don't always get that budget feel when you're paying $8, $9 for that coffee. Oh, nice. Birdman and Allen at the same time. Rob's getting upset. We call the cheating page. Well, I mean, it is. Well, yeah, I guess for free, I don't mind spending $8, $9 for the coffee then, right? And I don't mind spending $8, $9 for a coffee, but when people constantly say they stay there because it's a good budget hotel, I look at a budget hotel as a whole, you know, what kind of restaurants and what kind of food prices and things like that. And I think the food prices and stuff in there are a little bit, takes it out of that budget. Well, they don't cheat anymore. That Belichick and Tom Brady ain't there. You know, I mean, the Deflategate, the tuck fumble. That was really a fumble. Tom Brady admitted to it. The refs cheated for him. How's that, too? Oh, yeah. I mean, Carnival Court could exist by itself, I think. It doesn't need Harrah's in the link to survive. That's not nice to say, Alan. Hopefully I'm not too late for the Hello Kitty coffee. Yeah, I know, right? You went from the Patriots always getting the calls to the Chiefs. I just sound like a bitter Eagles fan, right? But we had our revenge on the Chiefs and the Patriots, right? I mean, we lost to the Patriots with with Donovan McNabb, and then Big Dick Nick came in and told him what it meant. Blah, blah, right? You know what? I cannot remember the quarterback's name for the Patriots. That's how, usually you can remember a quarterback's name once they play in the Super Bowl, but I don't know. I'm not even sure the Patriots had a quarterback playing in the Super Bowl last year. So anyway, let's get back to Vegas. Enough about football. We got plenty of time when the real football season comes around to talk trash to each other. So listen, if you guys are just joining, say hello, hit that subscribe button, say hello, join the chatters here. This is a really fun chat group that we have going here. We try to keep it light, non-political, no religion, none of that bull crap. And we like to kind of break each other's stones a little bit. So Drake May, okay. Yeah, Drake, he may be a good quarterback one day, but he's definitely not one now. So anyway, gonna go get my Hello Kitty coffee. Well, it looks like, oh, they must be cleaning up. They look like they're cleaning up. You know what? We're going to head somewhere else and get coffee. I can't do that. I hate going up and being the last person to order a coffee. Maybe we'll go back over to Italy and just grab a coffee in Italy. I definitely need coffee, though. It's been about 8 hours since my last coffee. I can't do that, Mud. I remember I had a job at, remember that place called Original Cookie Company? And it was like in the malls and stuff. I had a job like there when I was like 17 or 18 or something. And I used to hate when we started cleaning up and people would come up and want to grab like a coffee or some cookies or something. So we're going to head over to Italy, and then we're going to head back south a little bit. So that's what we'll do. Ha ha ha! Funny, funny. That is very. You hurt my feelings, Alan. Them's his fighting words. Yeah, back in the 1900s. Rob, you ain't that much younger, buddy. Or at least you don't look that much younger. I mean, I don't know. All right, let's go get some coffee. This is the hardest part about the Vegas Strip anymore, is you can't get good coffee late at night. There's like... I'm just even looking for like a drip coffee. Just a regular plain drip coffee is fine with me tonight. But I'll leave the tiramisu and all that stuff for next time. Oh man, now Mud's getting in on it. Oh man, Ed's getting in on it. Jeez, thought you guys was my friends. Apparently not. Look at these desserts, man. Ooh, that looks really good. The Budino. That's okay. The tiramisu alla fogao. That's okay. You really need to like the strawberries, but the classic, that's the best one. And I actually took the class here on how to make their tiramisu, and It is. If you ever get a chance to take that class, definitely take that class. It was like $50, and you get to take home a tiramisu that's about that size. So, which night? Oh yeah, I remember that stuff. Hello. Can I just get a large strip coffee?
A large strip?
Yeah. No.
It'll be $5.69.
Great, thank you. Yeah, didn't you break that jar of sauce too? I gotta put my card back in my wallet here. Bill, what's going on? We are right now inside Italy. I had to stop and get my coffee. I was gonna go to Hello Kitty, but it looked like they were wrapping up, and I didn't want to be that person that like, hey, I know you're wrapping up, but can you dirty up your stuff for me? I'm not that important. We're getting that. Hold on. D. Edwards, what's going on? Scotty, what's going on? Crypto Scotty, that's another one of my buddies from work. If you need any crypto advice, do not take it from him. Oh shit, that's coffee's hot. I gotta hit that I gotta stop here. My chat is freezing up. The chat. This happens every once in a while. I have no idea why it does that. Every once in a while, my chat will freeze and I'll have to like manually scroll, and it's really hard to do. So, Murakami, what's going on? Didn't see you came in. Where do you guys want to go? You guys want to go over to Overlook now? Let's go over to the Overlook now and check it out. There's really nothing going on by New York, New York. I drove past there earlier. And we'll save the stadium. I think I'll be out tomorrow morning. We're going to try to hit the stadium again, and hopefully it's not as hot. I think we're getting a cold front, and the temperatures are supposed to dip down into the lower 90s. So you can't rewind the live. You should be able to. It should be in DVR mode. When we stop, I'll see again, but it should be in DVR mode. Eli, what's going on, buddy? It is a beautiful night out here tonight. It's not too hot. That's been like kind of the thing lately, is like I get home from work, you know, I do a couple things around the house, and then I'm like, I don't feel like going out when it's like 105 degrees at, 8 o'clock at night. So I just basically been like concentrating on like editing and, trying to put my editing skills a little better. So I don't know if you guys checked out my F1 video I posted the other day, but I'll have another video coming out tomorrow morning, and I want you guys to let me know what you think with my editing has gotten better since I started posting on YouTube. I mean, I just started using like my laptop and all that stuff and utilizing the tools that I have. So hopefully it gets better. Doesn't look like there's a rewind. All right. So when we get up on top of the overlook, we'll check that out and see if I can change that or not. And we just did another video, so we're gonna have another scent video for Aroma Retail coming out. So if you guys love your Vegas scents or just love your house smelling good in general, go check out the Aroma Retail links there. Use that Neon City for 20% off on the promo. So yeah, we have, actually tonight we have eucalyptus forest in our car. So we have a little travel scent machine, and every week or so we change the scent of our car. And you know, we have our whole house one, and we have a couple travel size ones in the house so that, you know, we can rotate the scents in our house and just have a really fresh smelling house. So go check out Aroma Retail. And if you're in town, you can even go to Aroma Retail, their store, and they have the smelly bar where you can ask any questions you want and you can smell all the different scents they have. So definitely worth checking out. It's about 5-10 minutes from the Strip. It's right off of Valley View, right behind like Mandalay, over by the stadium. They've had other people. I mean, we don't have no exclusive clause or anything like that, but did they have a promo code too? So we are affiliates for them, obviously. So if you do purchase, and some people have been clicking that link in the live streams and in our videos and making some purchases. And so we appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for that. Make a little extra hours there since we. So we're going to go up. There's Walgreens. That is, if you code merit, they'll charge you double, right? So these are some tall escalators. Now, if you put both of these together, these are probably bigger than the ones at Fontainebleau and Circa, you know? Well, let's see. All right, so we've been live for about 17 minutes. So we basically have walked from the front of Aria down to Hello Kitty, back across, got a coffee at Italy, and now we're up here on the overlook. And I think that kind of puts a little bit of a false narrative on everything in Vegas takes you an hour, 45 minutes to walk to, right? So let's see, we got about 65 people in here right now. If you guys want to start leaving some comments of what properties would you like to see, how long it takes to get from, say, Bellagio to Venetian, right? I'll start making those videos because I see a lot of people making videos that are like, oh, it looks like it's 5 minutes away, but everything takes 45 minutes in Vegas. And it really doesn't. There's a lot that goes into walking in Vegas on how to get around. And if you don't know where you're going, yeah, it probably will take you 45 minutes. But if you watch our videos, you can cut a significant amount of time off. Daniel, what's going on, buddy? Jay, thank you for the gift. I'm sorry I missed that. Did not come up on my end. No, I do not see that. Huh. Thank you, Jay. So that's the one downside to streaming on Prism Live is I don't always get the notifications when a gift gets sent, a super chat, things like that. So I rely on the audience, the mods, and everyone to kind of help me out on that. So if I miss it, it's not because I'm being rude or don't appreciate it. It's because it doesn't show up on my end. Bruce will be here in October. Nice. We're going to have to check it out, man. Hang out. You have no idea what you did. I don't know either, but somebody said you sent a gift, and I appreciate that. So this is the overlook here, and this is that awesome view. That's city center right across the street. We have a friend, Danny, that lives over there in the Veer Towers. He's not on tonight, but normally he'll shine his lights and we can check it out and see where he's at. So you can get some really cool views going up and down the strip. Nice little seating area here. October needs a group meetup. Yeah, we'll try to set that up when you get out here, when you guys get out here. So there's looking up the strip. There's a better view of going north on the strip right by the In and Out. So we'll go take a look at that. Daniel, in Germany for 2 weeks. Are you visiting or vacation? Little military stuff? My nephew is actually in Germany for the next year as some kind of exchange program. So he won't be back stateside until I think August of next year. So he's not allowed to come home for Christmas or his birthdays or anything like that. So that's like, and he's only like 15 or 16. That's got to be a tough thing for a kid that age. But it's some kind of like program between the US. It's not like a regular exchange. It's some kind of special congressional program. So your sister's at Palace Station, got there yesterday. She drove with 2 kids. Awesome. Let's see, I got to scroll back again. See, it's freezing up. I got to sit down over here for a second and check out why we can't rewind. Metallica tickets, less than $1,000. I'll keep my eyes out, man. But I have a feeling that's going to be like that's a tough ask, you know? So let's go into the settings here and see if we have that. Seems like really... I'm not seeing how to change it over. So maybe I can change it after the stream's over. You guys will just have to rewind. Sorry about that. I don't know why I didn't change the settings from the DVR. So this is the new In and Out. Remember all the hype about this place? You know, it's the world's largest In and Out. Then it's not the largest In and Out, right? It goes back and forth depending on whether you're going to use it as the size of the building or seating capacity, right? So there's been a huge debate about that. So I don't know. I just know it's the biggest one I've ever been to. Floor seats, $780 2 months ago. Nice. That's a good price.
Oh, that's in southern Orange County, California.
Training for a new job. Oh, nice. That's why you're in Germany. So you get a really nice view if you walk down past here. I'm not sure what's going into this storefront here, but if you come all the way down to the railing here, and I don't know why it's blurring in and out. Something's going on with this Prism tonight, which kind of sucks because streaming on Prism gives you usually much better app. Put my coffee down. See, we got autofocus on, camera down. It doesn't, I don't know. See, that's weird. Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not trying not to move, and it keeps going in and out of focus. All right. Ryan, what's going on, buddy? So right there at the corner of Harmon and the Strip, maybe around F1 time at the race, this may be an area that you might be able to see some of the race from. I'm not sure. Last year, you could see some of it by the In and Out building, but it wasn't that great. But we'll have to check it out. Oh, so you're fluent in German. Nice. I'm not even fluent in. Could learn another language. All right, so where do we want to head? You guys tell me where you just want to go next. You just want to go up the Strip a little bit? You want to go down the Strip a little bit?
Tide comes up, the waves come in, and then they have the locks for when the tide goes out. So it soaks the land.
Yeah, I'm not a huge F1 fan. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. Some days I'm like, man, this is pretty cool that we got this F1 thing going on. And then other days I'm like, I hate this F1 setup crap. And, you know, because it is disruptive, we're going to take the steps a little bit. The F1 setup and teardown is really, really disruptive to the people in Vegas, right? Businesses, people that work on the Strip, people that live around the Strip. Very, very disruptive, the traffic patterns, things like that. But it's also something that you can kind of plan ahead, right? So that's kind of what my video the other day was about, is this year, F1 is a day earlier, so it should run around the same setup schedule as they had last year. And they did a really good job last year and, you know, kept people much more informed than they did the first year or two. So, yeah, I know it's like only like an hour, you know. We streamed it last year from a location by the Sphere, and that was a really good stream, I thought. We captured some pretty good footage of the F1 race. That was pretty cool. But it was like all of a sudden there was fireworks going off and people were cheering because the race was over. And I felt like, wow, that was only like, you know, like an hour and a half or something like that, right? But, you know, it does bring in a decent amount of tourists. It does bring in a decent amount of money, you know, and honestly, Vegas is an entertainment city. So they're going to have these type of things, you know. The Super Bowl, that was pretty. The NFL draft, they shut down the Strip for a day or so for the NFL draft. So it's something that we have to deal with as, you know, people who live and work on the Strip and, you know, people who love to come to Vegas. You know, it's got to cater to everybody. It's got to redevelop itself and say, all right, you know, like, because if it doesn't, it's not going to survive. And it's already, you know, according to some people, on its last leg. But I full-heartedly disagree that Vegas is dead or dying. I think we saw Vegas do a correction after the pandemic and a like near record like visitation in 24. I think 25 is kind of what we're going to see going forward, which slow growth, but not like crazy numbers like 2016 to 2019, you know. I really can't wait for the Hard Rock either. I love the Hard Rock. You know, the original Hard Rock was where me and Jay got engaged, and that's like the first real first time way back in like 96, I think it was. So that was always my favorite spot. Yeah, so we got it for like another 10, 11 years. That said that because of the unstableness in the Middle East and stuff, F1 considered and Las Vegas a second race a week after the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So yeah, that was I saw an article about that today, and they said that relatively quickly they decided against that, which I'm happy about. Yeah, that was Vegas back then. How's the stream right now? Is it glitchy? Seems to me like the numbers are fluctuating quite a bit tonight. Dr. Sammy, what's going on? How you been? So let's take a look over there. There's the Polo Towers. They're actually really nice rooms with balconies right behind the overlook. Me and Jay did a staycation there. Our last staycation was at Fontainebleau, and we're doing another one of those in October. Another Fontainebleau one. It's a little glitchy tonight. Okay. I don't know if that was just the area that we were in, because the number right now seems to be going. It's like fluctuating a little bit, the signal strength. Now, I wonder how it's going to be come F1 time, because that's usually when it starts to really get choppy, the live streams and things like that. Here's a good spot to take the kids too, right? The Rainforest Cafe. Oh, we actually have someone pushing a floor cleaner tonight. I'd rather see people pushing and cleaning the floors manually than having Rosie the robot taking over. Probably, I'd say like around 9:30-ish. I think I told you guys about a month or so ago that my oldest was fostering a kitten, and it turns out that they are now adopting a kitten. So they have to take the cat in tomorrow to get fixed. So I'm going to drive and take them in to get the cat fixed. Oh, wow. So they're doing some heavy duty work on this one. This one looks like it's going to be out for a while. Note to self, do not walk the south side or the east side of the strip at the corner of Planet Hollywood, because we're not going to have an escalator there.
They used to make some fire-ass lamb chops.
Oh, you can see that there's a fountain show going on up the street here at Bellagio. Maybe by the time we get up there again, there'll be another one. We'll go check it out. Bruce, you know what? I'm okay with fostering kittens and cats and stuff like that. It's the dogs I have a hard time um, giving up. So here's a little bit of information. So back when me and Jay lived in Philly, we were really active in the animal rescue world, and we were fosters, and we fostered for the animal shelter in Philadelphia, and had about 1,000 different animals come through our house that we fostered at one point or another. And the hardest ones to get rid of were always the dogs. Now, kittens and things like that, we used to have like bottle feeders. I would wake up in the middle of the night and feed baby kittens. And, you know, I loved doing it. And then we got into fostering older adult cats that needed some medical. The subnoculous IVs and stuff like that. We had to learn all that stuff. And I kind of, you know, passed down to my oldest. She took this supposedly feral kitten, and within like 2 weeks, this kitten was like hanging out with them, and their cat absolutely loves it. So they decided to keep it, mostly for a friend for their cat. So that's pretty cool. Now, out here in Vegas, we fostered one dog and ended up adopting it. And then my son fostered a dog that he was only, so at the shelter out here, you're a cat person, nice. So Jay used to have a thing for old, like, white cats. At one point, I think we had like 5 old white cats that were like very, very old, and like 13, 14 years old. And yeah, so that was like kind of what she was rescuing at one point. Now, out here at the Animal Foundation, they have this program where you can take a dog that's at the Animal Foundation and take it out on a day trip, which is really, really cool. And so my son did that. And then he ended up being like, you know what? I think I want to foster this dog. And we were like, all right. And then it turned into, you know what? I think I'm just going to adopt this dog. So, yeah. Dogs are hard to give up, right? Cats are only good at somebody else's house. That's kind of how I feel nowadays. I'd much rather have about, 10 dogs than 10 cats. We got some moons coming up, Mr. Mud. So we're going to head on up here, take a walk by the Bellagio fountains, and then probably turn around and start heading back down towards Aria. See, we had an indoor-outdoor cat at one point out here. And then when we lived in Philly, all of our cats were pretty much indoor, except our one cat. He would go in the yard, but he would not leave our yard. He never hopped the fence, anything. He would just go out and lay on the patio furniture, which was really cool, But living in the city like that, I would hate to have an indoor-outdoor cat. I'd be worried it would get run over by a car, you know what I mean? Kristen, what's going on? Now, out here, I think it's too hot for, like, indoor-outdoor cats. I don't think any animal should be outdoors in Vegas during the day, Yeah, I think there's like two cafes out here. There's one I think down by the stadium, and I think there's another one up on Rainbow. All right, these people are running across. These taxis are flying out of here. So this is one of the worst pedestrian crossovers on the strip, right? You got to pay attention to the lights here. If you don't have the go to walk the crosswalk, don't cross against the light at this intersection here. And don't do what I'm doing and walking out in the street almost, because people drive like maniacs. But oh, there's the little toasters. So this is a pretty good sized crowd. All right, I'm gonna extend this up a little bit. That's the nice thing about crossing in front of a Zeus. If there's someone there, it won't move. So if you're looking for one of them 360 videos, this is definitely the spot in Vegas to go. There's probably a 360 machine every 25 or 30 feet. Here's two right next to each other. Come on. So we probably will, by the time we get down to the end of the fountains here, we'll probably end up, there's another one. Let's walk back this way and count all the 360 machines. Yeah, right. Don't stay at the jock. Why not, Ed? No, I know Ed has some bad experiences there. Yeah, I mean, this is what night of the week is this? This is a Monday night, right? This seems like it's a pretty decent crowd for a non-holiday Monday night. Well, one of these 360? Yeah, you have to tip the person. So what's that? That's about 5 or 6 of them, 8 of them that we passed so far. We're going to count them on the way back. And you also have like these like other photo booths. You got all the different showgirls that you need to, you know, if you wanted to get showgirl pictures.
My guy, look at me, my guy.
Just make sure that you agree on a price before you agree to taking a picture. All right, so we got ourselves a show about to start. All right, who wants to guess what show we're going to see tonight? What is going to be the song? I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. I hope not. It would ruin. No, it's not. It's not share. Murakami, ding, ding, ding. That's a good one, D. I like that. Give it to you in the ultra wide. All right, there we go. So, now, could you guys really hear the music? Because I was right next to a speaker. It was probably pretty loud. I was hoping to get like 3 streams at least where I didn't get a copyright claim, but I think that definitely we got one on there. So here we go. We got the Fortuna. I think they run these a little bit. I thought, oh, never mind. Yeah, you heard that one, right? Because I was right next to a speaker that time. So there's the Fortuna. That is the Bellagio yacht. That is something that probably none of us here are ever going to step foot on. That is by invite only, and you need to be like a super tier. No, the Ifragato is the coffee drink, bud. That is the Fortuna. You're not going to see me dance, Joe. I am a non-dancing fool. I'm not a dancing fool. I'm just a non-dancing fool. All right, let's walk up to the end, turn around, and then count how many 360 video machines we see. That should be fun. All right, good morning. Doing a little photo shoot over there. So if you're traveling to Vegas and you're walking on the strip, like, it's cool to stop and take a quick photo, right? But it's not cool to like stand in the middle of the walkway especially in a busy area like the Bellagio fountains, and just kind of stand there and have a conversation. Move over to the side so the rest of us can get around without having to bump into each other. Yeah, we're gonna have to bring the bingo card out. So I cleared off my phone the other day, and that was one of the things. I got to make a couple more. I want to make like 3 or 4, so that we can don't always constantly play the same ones. You know what I mean? But we'll get the bingo card. Oh, here we go, another one. This is a good one, Bruno Mars. See, I thought that when the Fortuna was out there that they did more shows than normal. This is a bad spot. Let's move. right, so that was 2 shows we got to see there. How awesome. So we're gonna walk up here. We got the world famous guys that make you wait to jump are up here. See, like stopping and getting your picture taken like that, that's cool. But like when people just kind of stop to just get their meeting, exactly, like the people that are in the grocery stores that just kind of stop in the middle of the aisle and just chit chat, right? People do that on the Vegas Strip and it just kind of really messes up the flow of traffic. We'll stop up here and check out and see if we get any pushers at the doors, right? That's another one of our favorite things to do. Although these guys are so loud, I can't really stand here for that long.
Yeah, kids, don't use that word. All right? Adults are sometimes hard to deal with.
Let's see. We're gonna hang over here for a second.
Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap. Everybody clap. This is the grand finale. Here we go. Let's do it, puppy.
See, we're gonna get one.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't get no energy, the guy on the end, he's gonna die.
Let's see.
And we have no insurance, not even Obamacare. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap.
Oh, that didn't look good.
We're going over. Everybody clap. Hey.
Look at these guys like a minute.
No. Now, guys, this is the grand finale. Before we go any further with this show, we must obtain crowd control. We cannot block this entire walkway. We don't own it.
This is where they're trying to, they need more tips to jump. So it's going to probably be another 10 minutes. We're not going to stand there. So let's count the 360 machines. All right, so we're coming up on our first one right now. So I have a really bad memory. So everybody, remember, this is number 1 of the 360 machines. Go ahead, smash that like button. Go ahead, subscribe if you're enjoying these walks. We'll be out tomorrow. I'll be out tomorrow morning, probably around 9:30-ish, I think. And then who knows, maybe tomorrow night again. I always say that, I don't know, it's just been so hot and I've been tired, but it's been, you know. But I'll have a video coming out at some point tomorrow, which I think you guys are going to be very interested in. So we only passed one. We're coming up now on some more of these 360 spin machines. Like I said, if you ever want to get a 360 video, this is exactly where to go, right outside the Bellagio. So there's a lot more down towards the other corner, but here we come up on number 2. Here's number 2. Now the Fortuna went back to the dock. Let's go over here. We can see it kind of circling. It's out there by Largo right now. Daniel, also, man. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, right? There you go. Can you see the Fortuna back there? Kind of just floating in the center of the screen. So I guess they're gonna go back, drop them off, and then they're gonna probably resume the fountain shows in a little bit. So, all right, so we are on 2 360 machines. And there'll be a few more coming up this way. Yeah, I got to get out more. But now, you know, once the weather kind of cools down, I think we'll be out a lot more. You know, the hot weather does like wear and tear on your equipment so much. And I mean, honestly, you know, it wears and tears on me. So even when I try to beat the heat, stay indoors during the day, it's still, you know, Vegas in the summertime is tough. That's why, you know, I try to put these videos out that show you the way to walk through the air conditioning and stuff like that. You know, take the trams. All right, so here's number 3. There's number 3 of the 360 machines. We got the Bellagio trash golf cart coming up here. I would hate to have that job. The guy that drives the golf cart up and down at night. Next show, share, believe is what Murakami thinks. Does Vegas have a mailman? Yes, Vegas has a mailman. Just one. They do all of Vegas. All right, so here we are on number 4 of the 360 machines. Number 5. No, they drive around in their carts, and the communities have like, you don't have like, you have community mailboxes. So they just kind of pull up to like a big giant mailbox that has every address in the community on it. So what is this? This is number 6, right? Or is this 7? I told you my memory is horrible. That's 6 of them. So right here in front of Bellagio, we got 6 360 cameras. And then there's one on the other side as we head towards Cosmo. Yeah, they don't walk around like they do in other cities. They like, there's just like the community mailboxes. So it's really not as bad. Oh no, there we go. This is that Alleluia song. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. I think there's another one right as we get hands outside here. Now I'm going to say you have until around September 13th, 14th, 15th to see the fountain show from the sidewalk here. That is when they're probably going to shut it down on one of them dates for the F1 race, for the setup, right? So last year they set it down September 15th. They shut it down, and it didn't open back up until, I think, Christmas Eve. So if you're going to be out here past the middle of September until around Christmas, you're not going to be able to see the Bellagio fountain show from the sidewalk in the front. Halfway will be closed also. So there's going to be limited viewing of the Bellagio fountains come the middle of September until around Christmas time. So just keep that in mind if you're coming out here and you've never seen the Bellagio fountain shows. You might possibly want to reschedule your trip to the springtime, but the F1 Heineken grandstands are going to be built right inside the actual fountain, Lake Bellagio, right? but you'll have to stand over at Paris, and you'll only get to see the top of the fountains. You can watch them from the side, you can watch it from the north, and then you can watch it from this walkway right over here. So if you go back and look at some of our videos, I think we have some on YouTube. I know we definitely have some videos on TikTok on where to watch the fountain shows, but we're going to be doing pretty heavy coverage of F1 on the strip, the construction, the tear down, the race week, all that stuff, because it really does affect tourists and locals like ourselves. But get a Cosmo fountain view room, right? Yeah, Bruce, that is definitely. Daniel, yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a fan of it. I don't have a hard opinion either way. I think I said earlier in the live stream that sometimes I absolutely hate F1 and the setup and tear down because it's really affecting how I get around to and from work and stuff like that. But, you know, and other times it's just like, hey, you know, this is one of the prices that I pay to live in like the entertainment capital of the world, right? Which is basically what Vegas is becoming with all the sports teams, all the residencies, F1. You know, we're going to host the Super Bowl again in a couple years. So it's just something that, you know, we kind of have to deal with. I mean, we just named a whole street. We changed the name of Park Ave next in between Park MGM in New York to Bruno Mars Drive. You know, Vegas has a history of that entertaining atmosphere. So they're just continuing that, you know? And I realize that that's why sometimes I'm like, all right, I hate F1. Sometimes I'm like, whatever. Oh yeah, the Paris room, that's a good rooms, right? Planet Hollywood actually has some really good rooms also. If you get a north face right over on this side, right? Oh, I feel like it's one of those other influencers. Have you ever just like popped out of the sewer? Jesus, scared me. Hey, it's Cosmo. Have you ever been? I don't know. So we're heading back. Like I said, oh, here's another 360. So this is 7 360 machines right here on the strip. So we are outside of Cosmo right now. So Bruce, I heard that before. Somebody else had told me that they stayed at the Paris balcony rooms and they really weren't that great. I mean, I think they did like just a quick remodel, right? So I have a video at the end of Cosmo here, our steps, right? And you see all these people that walk the steps. I have a video that explains to you how to get around, but I'm going to show you. But go check out that video if you're coming out here and you might forget, right? Just bookmark it. But so many people walk down to the end of Cosmo. There's no escalator on this side. You're going to have to walk up 2 flights of steps or walk down 2 flights of steps, which when it's 115, 110, 115, things like that, this is just kind of a pain in the ass to walk, right? Look at all these people. All you have to do is just go back into, before you get here, just go inside Cosmo and use the escalator. It's right inside the doors, right by the chandelier bar. We're going to head in there now because I am not walking up the steps unless I absolutely have to. I mean, we got some people that come in here that absolutely hate Paris, our buddy Mike. But, you know, I really do like being inside in general at Paris, right? So we got the Chandelier Bar right in front of us. You got the Dragon Link Dragon. That's that $5 million progressive. We're going to have to come up here and actually check that out. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. See what the bet is, right? But you just come right over here. You take these escalators. They're doing some remodeling over here also, right? Just take these escalators right next to the Chandelier Bar here. All right, I ask this all the time, so those of you that are in here as regulars, don't answer it. But if you're new in the chat, welcome in. How many crystals are on the Chandelier Bar's crystal curtains here? I know somebody's got to know it. I've done a couple videos on the Chandelier Bar here, and we put those numbers out there. At one time, the Chandelier Bar was the most expensive bar in the world, right? Now, this is another cool thing. Let's check it out. Maybe I'll remember to bring some money tomorrow. But they have, this is called the Art-O-Matic, right? This is an old cigarette machine that now has original artwork that's the size of like an old like cigarette pack. And it's $10 and you get like, you know, you get a really cool piece of artwork. There's like 5 or 6 of these machines inside Cosmo. We got one not too long ago and it was pretty cool. It was like a wire scorpion. Only 47, it's an optical illusion. You know what, Bruce? That would be pretty cool if it was just one strand and then a bunch of mirrors, right? That just reflected all the way around. That would be a pretty cool thing. That would be an amazing piece of artwork too. So let's head on down. Oh, they're opening up a new spa here called Sahara. You would think, oh, is that how you say that? Sarah, I guess. I don't know. Don't ask me how to pronounce words because I'm not very good at it. Nesta, what's going on, buddy? $2.5 million. My Murakami, my AI is hallucinating. I have to put better prompts in. So we are on the overpass heading towards Aria. Now, normally I would walk through the Shops at Crystals, but there is absolutely a horrible signal in the Shops at Crystals. So I skipped that and we are going to just take the steps down. Now there is an escalator that'll take you down to Ross and then you can exit Ross at street level if you wanted to do that. There's also an elevator over here. I'll show you the elevator before we go down the steps. So if you have mobility issues and you come out Cosmo and you're on that crosswalk and you need to get across the street here, the elevator is right here on the left-hand side, right before you walk in, right where those people are standing right now. That's a whole lot of people getting on an elevator. That was probably about 10 people. I don't know about that. But if you walk through Shops at Crystals, it's a short walk over to the other side and you don't have to take any steps, which we're going to have to do, but steps are good, right? Steps are good. So we're going to go down these steps. There's a hidden broken crystal. Oh yeah, if you find a hidden broken crystal, I think they give you $1 million. So sometimes this whole area turns into a dead zone. So hopefully it doesn't do that tonight, you know. All right, we're at 66 likes. Let's try to break 100 before we end. And I'm going to end when we get back up at Aria. What the hell did this taxi cab driver do that he's got 3 motorcycle cops and an SUV cop? There's like 5 cops down there for 1 taxi. Wonder what he did. Hit and run, maybe. I don't know. Let's try to look over the bushes. I don't even see the guy down there. Huh. All right. So Shops of Crystals, they close around 9 o'clock. They close the lower level. So, but you can walk across the upper level 24 hours a day. You can also take the tram. You can catch the Aria Express tram in there to shorten your walk back to Aria. Although if you're staying at Aria and you've already made it to the halfway point of the tram, you might as well just keep walking because it's going to take you past the guest room elevators inside Aria. But that's another one. He dropped off people at the wrong spot, right? No, they let the taxi cab drivers get away with a lot more than the rideshare people. The rideshare people, they can get reported to Uber and Lyft, and they can be deactivated for not dropping off in the right zones. Or at least that's what I was told. I don't know. At one point, I did consider doing ride shares, but then I remembered that I sometimes have a little fit of road rage, and I didn't think that would be good to have people in there. Isaac, what's going on? Tried to see a ride and somebody tried to ride and dash. I mean, what do these people think? You know, I saw outside of Treasure Island one day a person and the cab driver, excuse me, they were about to fist fight over the fee for using a credit card. And the guy was like trying to refuse to pay it. And it was getting pretty heated. Security and all went over and was like trying to break, you know, make sure that these guys didn't get into it. Oh, wait, you know what? Since I'm going to Aria, I don't have to go up these steps. That's right. If I went through the Shops of Crystals, I would have had to walk down the steps to get onto the pathway to go up to Aria. So like I said earlier, if you guys, so I've been seeing a lot of these videos and, you know, people making content that's like, you know, it looks, you know, that, Vegas takes 45 minutes to walk from hotel to hotel, and it really doesn't, right? We covered a lot of ground tonight in an hour and 20 minutes so far. You know, we've done a ton of walking. Bellagio, Cosmo, New York, you know, so I want to start making some videos, but I'm looking to see where people really want to see how long does it take to get somewhere. So, you know, if you have a particular combination of hotels that you would like to see how long it takes, then I'll walk it and I will do that video and let you guys see that. Because, you know, there's been an influx of really low effort content being put out about with Vegas lately. You know, like, I enjoy watching all different kinds of Vegas content, from the sponsored pieces that look like they were produced in Hollywood to the rough and raw, you know, similar to kind of what me and Jay used to do and stuff, right? Because it all has a place, right? Sponsored content, people that are getting paid to tell you about a property or a restaurant doesn't really bother me, because everybody does it. Papa John's, T-Mobile, every store does it, right? So they're showing you the best of the best in what could, right? And, you know, your burger probably isn't going to look like the burger that you see in the video, because that burger was special made for that video, right? But, you know, and maybe you don't like the food, but that might just be your taste buds are different than some of these other content creators who make legit, like, you know, food reviews, right? Because you can take a sponsored burger place or a sponsored steakhouse, right, and be like, wow, that steakhouse looks great. And then you can find someone else who does other reviews and compare them, right? So, you know, but those people are putting an effort out. It really like bugs me when I see somebody taking a picture from right here and you can see just that little piece of New York, New York, and they're like, New York, New York skyline looks great from Aria. And it's like, man, all you can see is the top of one of the buildings, right? There's like really no effort. Or like a blurry picture from a car where it looks like, you know, like that. And it's like, ooh, the Vegas Strip at night. Like, it's just like overload. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's kind of how I've been feeling lately. Like every time I open up a social media, it's like, geez, like, I don't know. That's just my little rant there. So the whole entire strip, if you started at the sign and went to the Strat, right? So the sign technically isn't on the strip. The strip, some people say, doesn't start until Mandalay. But let's just say we started at the sign and went all the way up to the Strat and walked at a normal pace. It would probably take you 2.5 hours, you know, maybe 3. I mean, you could do it in less time if you walk really fast. But, you know, in general, what I'm talking about is someone who's saying, you know, it takes 45 minutes to walk from Aria to New York, New York, you know? And it really doesn't. I mean, you can get Aria to New York, New York in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So, oh yeah, neither is the Strat. I guess the Strip technically, I got to sit down for a minute here. I guess technically, doesn't the Strip stop at Sahara? Yeah, I'll flip this around for a second and talk to you guys. Sometimes that's nice too, right? So this would be such a nicer spot to sit and have a conversation if the water wall behind me still worked, right? Outside of Aria, do you remember the water wall that stopped working during the pandemic? Well, it's right behind me and there's still no water running down it. That's a really hard part to find. So yeah, Bruce, I think the Strip technically ends at Sahara Ave, right? So, but from the sign to the Strat would probably take you a good 2.5 hours. Listen, I stayed at the Strat. We stayed at the Strat for our honeymoon in 2001. We got married September 29th, 2001, 18 days after September 11th. And when they started opening up the flights and hotels and stuff, we got the Strat for, I think it was $13 a night, $12 a night to stay at the Strat, and it was $100 round trip to fly from Philadelphia to Vegas. And I think we stayed 7 or 10 days. It was like $130. Now there was no resort fees back then either, you know, which, you know, resort fees started in 2004, 2008, I think, and they started with the station casinos, and then the Strip adopted them. Now, the station casinos, they still have free parking for everyone. And MGM started the parking craze on the Strip in 2016. And Caesars held off for a year before they started charging for parking. Once Caesars realized that people were going to pay for parking, they said, shit, man, it's a revenue stream. Why not? You know what I mean? I agree. Resort fees are a joke. I could see them lowering them maybe a little bit, but I don't ever see resort fees or parking going away. It generates way too much revenue. I read something that said that Caesars generates enough revenue in parking fees to pay their Vici lease. So why would you get rid of parking if that's paying for your land lease? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. That's what I read. I think it was a Review Journal. I'll have to go back and double check that, but you know, it's a huge revenue stream. They're not going to get rid of it. Now they should just do validation, right? If you're staying there overnight, then definitely you should not have to pay. But again, I'm going to Anaheim, September, I think it is. And we're staying at an Embassy Suites, and it's going to be $35 a night at the Embassy Suites. So it's $15 more than it is to park per night on the Strip. The Strip's $20 a night, $25 on the weekend. So now, unless you valet, which then you're going to be paying around 35, 40 bucks. So yeah, bring them down, right? Now, other cities have other resort fees, but they're not resort fees, or they just have those fees absorbed already into the price. So like Nashville, the rooms in Nashville cost more than the rooms in Vegas with the resort fees. You can look on Expedia and check that out yourself, right? Go fact check me if you want. And Dallas is the same thing. So, you know, a lot of times when you go to these other cities, you're going to be paying more for your room, but you don't have a resort fee. But the room still costs more than a Vegas room with a resort fee. So $45 a night in Chicago for a volleyball tournament. Yep. Last July, when we went to San Francisco, it was $48 a night at a parking garage that wasn't even attached to the hotel because the hotel didn't have a parking garage. So it cost me more to park my car than it did for my hotel room. So yeah, but you know, it's not going to go anywhere. And you know, I wish they could change it. Maybe they will, right? So yeah, and that's basically what hotels do generally around the rest of the world. They absorb these fees into the rooms, and the room rates might go up 10 or 15% instead of like 3 or 5%, like they do in Vegas, you know? So, but I'm going to get going. It's been an hour and a half. So I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow morning. You guys join us for a live stream I'm going to be starting around 9:30 or 10 o'clock somewhere on the Strip. I haven't decided yet. So convenience charge. Yep. Murakami. That's another way that they phrase it. So thank you guys all for joining us tonight on our stream. And I will see you guys tomorrow. All the new chatters, welcome to our chat and welcome to our channel. I appreciate all the support. Thank you guys.